What is going on? You're listening to episode 191 of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh, and that music you just heard is from On Being Human. You can check them out on Spotify and YouTube. Remember, this is an unofficial Nintendo podcast, and if you'd like to get yourself a free book from Audible, go to audibletrial.com/NPC. Pick up something awesome like Blood, Sweat, and Pixels and learn the origins of games like Stardew Valley and Destiny. That's audibletrial.com/NPC. The chair I'm sitting in is from OP Seat. If you go to n64josh.com/OP Seat, you automatically save $10 at checkout. And all the chairs are $20 off right now. And free shipping. So you're looking at quite the savings right now for an OP Seat. That's n64josh.com/OP Seat. Go check them out. If you'd like to help support the content I create and get yourself, there's a new tier available. The t-shirt tier is now going to feature retro-inspired NPC t-shirts. Okay, so you can check that out at patreon.com/n64josh. Lastly, my book, Another Castle. n64josh.com/anothercastle is going to be on sale starting Wednesday if you use coupon code NPCFAM. Okay? NPCFAM. NPCFAM. You'll save 20% on my book, Another Castle. And that includes the audio version as well. Okay? So n64josh.com/anothercastle, coupon code NPCFAM. With that, we're going to jump to the announcements.
Hey, listen.
All right, so we have a new community calendar up, n64josh.com/calendar. You can see when we've got community game nights, when I go live, when the shows are recorded, all of that stuff. n64josh.com/calendar. I have an announcement for you guys. It's a soft launch right now. You're actually going to get a full episode on this channel or on this feed. But my wife and I are launching an Animal Crossing podcast, and it's called Animal Crossing Podcast. If you want to check it out, as of right now, it's only available on Podbean. I'm imagining iTunes is probably going to be sometime today or tomorrow. Okay, so you can check that out. Like I said, the first couple episodes I'm going to launch right here on this channel, so you guys can check it out. It's gonna be a little different show. It's more conversation versus like looking at news and things like that. So lastly, I do want to direct you guys to the N64Josh subreddit. Okay, that is literally the hub for all of my content, and I want to create community there that is positive and unlike a lot of the other places on Reddit, okay? Because I know there is a group of gamers that are about positivity because I talk to you guys in Discord all the time, okay? So you can go to N64Josh, let's see, it's reddit.com /r/N64Josh. That's the subreddit. So I'll have a link in the show notes here as well. But literally everything I put out gets put on that subreddit. And I'm also going to be doing like right now we have like a top 10 like kind of a question of the day, question of the week, that kind of stuff, just different topics, things like that. Like there will be there will be things to get involved with. It's not just a place for me to post the content I'm creating, but also for us to just kind of engage, because I know people are everywhere. So I'm trying to be in the Facebook group more. I'm trying to be in the Discord as much as I can, trying to be there. Like I've got to be everywhere. I gotta be everywhere. All right. So go check that out. All right. With that, let's jump on over to what I've been playing. All right. So this past weekend, I jumped into a indie game called Rico, and it is a first-person shooter. It is cell shaded, and basically the gameplay is like this: you breach a door, you kick a door in, then that like triggers bullet time or slow motion, and you can then take out all the guys in the room. Right now, I didn't get very far in the game. I only got a little ways into it. You can check out my first look on YouTube. It's pretty fun. And there's online multiplayer, and there's a retail version of this game if you want. So that is Rico. It controlled smooth, and it was kind of weird. Like, it was a different way to play a first person shooter. Like, typically in a first person shooter, you're kind of running through a level, you get to an area, you clear it, you go to the next checkpoint, that kind of stuff. This was like kick a door, clear, kick a door, clear, kick a door, clear, shoot the computers to unlock the doors. And I actually never even finished because I was playing on hard mode and I kept getting killed. But it was pretty fun. It's pretty fun. And there's multiple modes to check out as well. So I do suggest checking out Rico. It was good. The other one I checked out was Blaster Master 02. I mean, it's an improvement on everything, on a lot of the stuff from Blaster Master 0, and I really enjoyed it. Fun platforming. You know, I love the way this game like really mixes things up as far as like you've got platforming. You then, you know, like I think his name is Jason. He'll hop out of his little, he'll hop out of the little tank, and you'll do some missions with him. Then you'll go into a door, and then all of a sudden it's like you're almost like a 3/4 top down gameplay, and it kind of mixes things up, and I really enjoy it. And some of the new like counter moves and things like that really work well. And it's pretty good. You can check out my first look as well if you'd like. It's youtube.com/n64josh. And then lastly, I put up a video of Turok from the 64. The game runs so smooth, right? It runs so smooth. I feel like they removed some of the fog that was in the original 64 title. And I had a really good time with it. And I've seen a number of comments, actually from all three of these videos, from people like, I wasn't planning on getting this. Now that I see this video, I think it's a must. So do check them out. They're all three pretty stellar titles, and I'm pretty pleased to have them in my collection. So with that, we're gonna jump on over to the news. Okay, well, we're gonna focus on one topic tonight because, as you guys know, I've been posting like a per episode a discussion post on my website n64josh.com, and rumors have been like flying like crazy. Wall Street Journal has come out and said that there's going to be 2 Nintendo Switches this year, 2 new models. Okay, and so that was like, I mean, it was just the internet was on fire, right? So many people talking about this. It's been crazy. Well, Eurogamer has done some. They've been doing some good work here, and so we're gonna take a look. Basically, here's their article. I have a link to it in the show notes, right? And it says 2 new Nintendo Switch models inspired by 3DS Split Evolution. This is what their sources say. Okay, so the article talks about how the Wall Street Journal tipped, you know, not 1 but 2 Nintendo Switch models for launch as early as this summer, right? And so then Eurogamer started doing some investigating here, and they have all but confirmed it. Now, we haven't heard from Nintendo directly, right? So again, I would still say take everything with a grain of salt. But this all seems pretty legit to me. Okay, and this is going to be kind of a fun topic to dive into because, like I said, I've had the post up on my site since yesterday, and it's probably one of my most viewed and most commented on posts yet. And so huge thank you to you guys for getting involved. There's some really cool comments, and I love seeing all the different perspectives, right? Because there's some comments that I may think are way off, or they may be different compared to what my opinion is. So I'm excited to look at all of them and kind of get, maybe we can keep the conversation going in Discord or on Reddit and things like that. So here we go. Here's what Eurogamer is saying. They're saying, so speaking to Eurogamer, sources close to Nintendo have confirmed the report backs up what they have heard too. In principle, Nintendo is hoping to cater to the same 2 audiences it eventually evolved the 3DS to serve with the 2DS and new 3DS XL. Okay, and then they have a picture on the site showing the Wedge and then showing the new 3DS XL. So cheaper option first. They are, to sum it up, this is going to be aimed at kids, and there's a good chance. So it says it's going to be targeted at younger fans, and it's going to be sturdier than the current Switch model, kid proof, right? And so they talk about how the costs will be driven down by the removal of several features. Okay. They talk about the rumble feature would be cut to save costs. Although the article does state it's unclear if this is referred to the Switch's unique or more expensive HD rumble or any kind of vibration feature at all, right? And then it says, but the bigger change appears to be on the cards, as several people familiar with Nintendo's current plans have told me, and again, I'm reading the article here, told me the company has designed its budget Switch for an audience which uses it in handheld mode only. Okay, so here's a few things that we know about the Switch and the way people play it. Again, the report's a little bit old now, and I don't know if it's been updated, but at one point, Nintendo released numbers that it was pretty much a 50-50 split on people that play the Switch docked and people that play in handheld, right? I'm probably more of a 75-25, I would say, but love having the option. The Switch gets played more because of because I can take it, in the car, or whatever, down to the living room just to kind of, when we're watching something, whatever, and I can get some games in, Tetris 99 or whatever. So, but for me, I'm probably 75-25, right? But we do know those original numbers that came out. Again, it was probably close to a year ago or so. They said it was pretty split. So this makes sense to me. Now, I'm of the mind that this system will not have Joy-Cons. That it in fact will be a single unit that has probably a D-pad instead of the C buttons or whatever, if you will, an actual D-pad, 2 sticks, and A, B, X, and Y, right, with the triggers and whatnot. So Jay Harley is saying a Nintendo Vita. So the thing that I wonder about, and I even have I did a little a vlog on this yesterday. You guys can check out on my YouTube channel as well. But I'll probably hit on a few of the same points here. What are they going to do with the sticks, right? If they're focusing on portability, what are they going to do with the sticks? And Super Nintendo, Mr. October, he posted a picture of just a concept or whatever that showed the Switch with a circle pad instead of actual analog sticks. Now, personally, I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't want to see this system go towards the circle pad because I don't feel like you can control quite as well with it. I love the current feel for the sticks, but here's the issue with a system that is more about being portable is that, have you ever tried putting the Switch in your pocket as it is right now? It's a little rough, right? The sticks stick up a ways from the Joy-Cons, and so that could be a problem. Well, one way that it could be solved is if they did a clamshell where the sticks actually went into the top of where the screen is, and then it opened up. I don't know if that's the route they'll go. Like, we're just kind of having fun speculating at this point, but I'm intrigued by the more portable version, for an actual Nintendo D-pad connected to the Switch. But what are they going to do with the sticks to make this thing more portable? And so that's one thing that I'm very, very curious about, right? I'm very curious about. Now, I played plenty of games on the 3DS, 2DS. I still play that system. I enjoy it, right? But after going back to, or after playing the Switch, and when you're jumping into a game like Fortnite or something like that, Doom, I just don't know that the circle pads would cut it. So it's gonna be interesting to see. The other thing that I really hope we see, if they remodel this system to be, a little more kid-proof, a little more portable, is let's change the layout of the buttons a little bit so that, like, the sticks are kind of in weird places due to the fact that you can take the Joy-Con off and use it as an individual controller, right? So let's offset the sticks with the buttons a little bit so that we can access the buttons easier and just make it a little more comfortable. So Hacks from chat says, I wouldn't put it past Nintendo to innovate the joystick and make it a click-in stick, clicks into place and stays flush, clicks out to become a full stick. And I mean, what they made, so the one issue that immediately comes to mind is, how do you make that a button? But if it was on threads up to a certain point, that might work, right? You just kind of you could loosen and tighten them, and they would have a stop so that they don't come all the way off. Or maybe they do. Maybe they make sticks that you could change out, do concave, do domed. Again, I don't know. That doesn't sound like it would be in the more budget option. But as far as making it more portable, that could be an option as well. Just kind of thread them down in place, or maybe it's just a single click, like pull them out. If they could just kind of click in, you could then pop them out and just do like one twist to kind of lock them, play, and then put them back. It's really Nintendo's going to they're going to put out something great. I'm fairly positive, right? I mean, we've been seeing great handheld systems from them since the Game Boy. And I'm looking at an SP right now. Like, I was playing a Game Boy Advance SP this weekend for a little bit. I was showing off to my niece and my nephew, who are like 6 and 3, and they were playing, Super Mario 3 and things like that. And like, this system's great. It's great, especially once they got the good backlit screens in them and stuff. Like, it's fairly comfortable for large hands, things like that. So, I mean, we have a company with a lot of experience with this. And I mean, the thing that's always kind of been a disconnect for me when it came to handheld gaming is, like, I want shooters on these systems, right? But like, I remember I had a PSP, and it had one stick, but again, it was more like a circle pad. So, I'm really curious to see how they're going to address it. Okay. I like the fact that this could be more portable. I was talking to my wife a little bit about it, and I'm like, what would you prefer? And she goes, she's like, once Animal Crossing is out, I just want a system I could easily throw in my purse and go. I want something that's a little more portable, that I feel like right now, with the screen exposed and the way the sticks are, she's like, I don't want to just throw the Switch into my purse. Not to mention the size of it, it's kind of big, and you could easily throw it in a case first, and then it would travel well that way. But you got to have you got to either, throw a backpack on, or maybe a giant fanny pack, if you're listening to all the Smash music with your Switch. Maybe you're already ready to go. I don't know. I've yet to get that giant fanny pack, though. Like, it may be time to bring the fanny pack back. That's what I'm talking about. So, it's it. She's all about having I mean, I kid you not. I'm not even joking you. She goes, I want Animal Crossing on the 2DS or the 3DS, right? She loves the portability of that system. She always has. She considers herself far more a handheld gamer than she's like, I don't even know if I will play Animal Crossing on the TV. I mean, who knows? She might, but she likes to play handheld games. And so I'm really hoping that, like, you know, we see that this ends up being a system that she's like, yeah, that's exactly what I was wanting, right? The question I have, what do we do with limited editions now? Because, like, there's I guess, I mean, look what Nintendo's been doing already. I've got in my collection right now, I have a Zelda 2DS, right? Ocarina of Time. I have a Zelda new 2DS with Link Between Worlds on it that looks like a Hylian shield. It's really cool. I have a Mario Maker 2DS wedge. So I mean, they kind of just released a lot of different special editions, and I mean, if you're a collector, your wallet is going to be hurting, you know. Delmonic in chat said, rip Josh's wallet, limited editions of all three systems with every big game launch. Like, oh my goodness. I'm not even kidding you guys. I've been kind of putting a like some cash aside. Like, I got some gift cards for my birthday and things like that. I'm like, nope, that's all going. Like, I know there's going to be Animal Crossing Switch, so I'm just kind of putting a little aside for that, you know. So, we know it's going to happen. We saw what happened last year. We saw the Smash, the Pokemon, the Diablo, there was a Mario Kart, Mario Tennis, Fortnite, right? There were so many different boxes. They weren't necessarily limited editions like with Joy-Cons and things like that, but we saw a lot of different SKUs for the system last year. And so it would not surprise me at all to see multiple variations of these limited edition systems. I mean, we know Pokemon alone is going to have at least two, right? That's what we could assume, unless they do one special one that has like one Joy-Con that represents sword and one that represents shield, possibly, right? So, but let's transition a little bit now. Let's talk about the other Switch, the more powerful one. One thing to keep in mind that they talk about here is that this lastly, real quick, it says they ask, will you still be able to connect the new budget Switch to a screen, even if via some kind of additional peripheral? It feels like a huge switch from the console, the console's MO, right? Its name, to drop the docking feature. But I mean, the article points out, like, Nintendo took the 3D out of the 2DS, and so that's, I mean, it goes from the 3DS to a 2DS, still played the same games, right? And I mean, look, if they can get this model down to, like, you know, 150, 199, like that's right at the sweet spot of where the 3DS and the new 2DS were. So I think if people really understand that, like, hey, I'm more about just the portability and I want to be able to, you know, really take this thing on the go, I don't think people are really going to have a problem with it, you know. And I mean, we've already heard the way Nintendo, they want to have households be multiple Switch households, right? So you're more than likely going to have the ability, if you're, you know, if you have kids, and I've seen a lot of people, are like, oh, my kids are going to get hand-me-downs, right? If the new, you know, Switch Pro or whatever comes out. But I'm just like, man, for younger kids, something that's a little less fragile would be great. So, but let's talk a little bit about the Switch Pro. Okay. And so, the Wall Street Journal was like, you know, there's a new souped up Switch for avid video gamers, right? That's the that's the way they worded it. But they also said it would be getting nowhere near, it wouldn't be getting as beefed up as like the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One, which, I mean, it doesn't really, that's not that surprising, right? And so the what they've been hearing anyway is that it will be comparable to the 3DS versus the new 3DS. And there's no suggestion that this model might remove the TV screen docking or anything like that. So that wasn't a huge jump, and we only saw a handful of games. And that's probably been where I've seen the most concern with people is like, I don't want to be left out of certain games because I don't have the new Switch Pro XL or whatever they're going to call it. And I feel like I feel like it'd be a really big misstep on Nintendo's part to really separate the install base like that. Hopefully you could see companies kind of like take advantage of the extra horsepower just when it comes to things like the dynamic scaling that's already happening for frame rates and resolution, that it's like, well, if there's more horsepower there, that it would just have to be less, right? Like, as long as it's keeping up with what the game is putting out, that'd be great. I mean, for me, I would be like more than happy if we could get 1080p 60 across the board on docked, right? And then 720 60 on the Switch. I don't know. For me personally, due to the size of the screen, I don't think we necessarily need a 1080p screen, right? And so just to see everything 1080p 60, like it's kind of like, it's strange, but like the more I play games that are at 60 frames a second, the more, like, it used to not really bother me that much. I used to be like, oh, it's fine, I can go back to the Switch. But like the more I play games at 60 frames a second, I'm like, yeah, I'd really like this to kind of start to be the standard, right? So Jay Harley says he would like 720 but less bezel, little larger screen. I could see that probably happening, right? Scott the Geek says I would like an OLED. So, there you go. Drummer is saying, I just hope that the new one on the on the Forest of Frames gets better in Zelda. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, we have a lot of different things to talk about here. I'm going to get into some of the comments now, and you guys are going to see it's just such a wide variety. I've been talking with people on Twitter and Reddit and things like that. And so the one thing to keep in mind is, like, the Switch was old tech when it released, right? Like it was a budget tablet when it came out. That's why they've been able to keep the price point low and things like that. And so I've said for a while, like, they're going to be able to do an upgraded version of the Switch without it being a big cost, because as the Switch ages, the tech gets cheaper, right? And so I really hope that it's going to be possible to see just 1080 and 60, same Joy-Cons, same dock, maybe. I don't know. That's some of the questions that I wonder about. So here we go. Like I said, we have quite a few comments to get to. So this is from the Second Quest. It says, as I finally got a Switch this past Christmas, I won't be upgrading right away. I say that knowing the instant they announce a Zelda model, I will break that vow, as I did for the new 3DS. But the Pro version would presumably be what I would aim for when I do. However, the light, slim, whatever model aimed at the 3DS market, I'm skeptical about. I think of the two possible models, it's the most likely one to come out. But the speculation that it would lack detachable Joy-Cons is what I find questionable. I don't see Nintendo sacrificing the share aspect of the detachable Joy-Cons, nor making several existing titles incompatible with the system versus a Pro model, which could come out of the gate with titles labeled for enhanced or exclusive compatibility, a la Xenoblade for the new 3DS, which those are the games that like really like that's the stuff that worries me. I don't want to see that. And complicating the Switch title compatibility into 3 tiers: slim, all models, and Pro only. For parents who just want to give their kids a device to use. However, scaling back certain secondary features to save on the tech seems plausible, i.e. removing HD Rumble to make it cheaper Joy-Con, since they could only limit certain modes in certain titles at worst, akin to the loss of 3D on the 2DS. Maybe it has one built in and one detachable or some kind of tether to avoid the kids losing it scenario. Additionally, since they're presumably making these systems in anticipation for Animal Crossing and Pokemon, if the Joy-Cons are not detachable, that would have implications for those games, as it would suggest that neither uses, or at least requires, features from those controllers or any other Switch features removed. So, for those reasons, it strikes me that a Switchless Switch that can't be shared is unlikely, and in general a bad idea to begin with. So there we go. That was from the second quest. This is from Scott here. It says, I would definitely upgrade to the Pro Switch if it's a big enough difference in visual fidelity. Okay. This is from Hayden. It says, if they do release a more powerful and portable one, I won't be disappointed, and I'll probably end up getting both. Either that, or I'll keep my current Switch as my portable one and the more powerful one as my home console. I actually think it's a good idea on Nintendo's part if they do release both, as long as they don't do exclusives. Maybe AAA titles only on the Switch Pro and not the Junior, but I don't want first-party games to be exclusive to one. Yeah, and I'm right there. Like, I think the majority of us are all kind of in agreement that it's like, I would rather just see games get a slight increase, but still play on all 3 systems. Because the other thing is I assume that the current Switch we have would be the same exact, like the specs would be the same or even slightly boosted in the new handheld model. And don't forget, it's not unlike Nintendo to even phase out things, right? I mean, how many different variations of the 3DS did we see? The DS did we see? The Game Boy Advance, right? Like, it's not unlikely that we would see the possibility of there just being these 2 on the market eventually, having one at 300 and one at 200, right? Or 150 or whatever they end up doing. So the likelihood that it's going to stay 3 systems, I could see going through like the end of the year, maybe, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see eventually these 2 being the only SKUs that are available. So moving on here, this is from someone. It says, if the small version has the ability to fit in my pocket without getting caught on things, looking at you joysticks, then I would be very interested in a smaller version. As for a more powerful version, I want to see it jump to 4K or serious battery improvements. Otherwise, my current Switch does everything I need it to. Yeah, there you go. This is from Hopple. It says, for me, no need for a Switch Pro because I mostly play in docked mode, but a more portable Switch Mini would be much better for travel instead of playing on the phone. Just for the real buttons. Think of a bundle of the Mini with Animal Crossing. Sold out in 3, 2, 1, and download only to save costs, of course. Yeah. Animal Crossing would be a download only on the limited edition if they ended up doing something like that. This is from Toby. It says, looking forward to buying a new Switch. I may pick up a 2DS XL just in case. Never know if they will have a library / store for 3DS games on the Switch. Yeah, I mean, it's quite possible. I've tested and kind of shown off on stream before the way DS games play on the Wii U, and there's multiple ways that could work on a single screen. This is from Lego Lawyer. It says, I like my Switch as is, but if we got a second Switch for the house, it'd be nice to have options. I'm certain all three models will handle Animal Crossing the same. And I'm loving the just the Animal Crossing hype, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I love seeing that. It's pretty rad. This is from Keyblader. It says, I would not be surprised if Nintendo did this. They have done that with so many of their other systems, the 3DS, Wii U, Wii, etc. Although I'm not sure what additional features they can add to a Switch Pro. They are also known for making special editions. I have a few myself. My theory is that they will announce the new Switch consoles at the same time they officially announce the release dates for larger titles such as Animal Crossing, Pokemon Sword and Shield, etc., just so they can promote special editions of the new consoles. I wonder if we see any kind of announcement with Mario Maker. I don't know. Maybe we see just a regular Switch with like yellow Joy-Cons or something. That's why I threw that up on my Instagram today, and there was some interesting feedback on that one for sure. So the other thing too to think about with these, the reason they may end up phasing out the original Switch is it still gets hacked so easily, right? That's another factor in this too, that like maybe the two newer models are going to be a little more secure, have a little better security. So this is from Jay Harley. It says, if we get two new Switches, Switch I, I don't know what the proper Pro is. One being more powerful and one being more portable, I might end up buying one of each depending on the prices and specs. Plumber says, for me, it doesn't matter. Switch is just fine for all my needs. If I was to buy a second Switch down the road, the other possibilities could play a role. If there was a more affordable version, I might go that route. Okay. Then Delmonix is not surprised, as Nintendo always iterates on their handheld line. We're always moving. We're also moving into the Switch's third year, so it's about that time as well. I definitely double dip and pick up a Switch Pro. 1080p, 60 frames in handheld would be great. Bluetooth support for headphones would also be a welcomed addition, absolutely. An improved dock with more USB ports and a built-in LAN port on it as well, just to name a few things. I hope Nintendo has learned from the 3DS line. With multiple systems on the market, they need to be clearer with their marketing so people know the difference between the systems' availability, especially with there being 3 potential systems for sale at one time. And I think this is a really good point to bring up, is that Nintendo needs to be extremely clear with their marketing, right? And one of the things Nintendo has done with the Switch is they have really nailed the marketing of this system. They have shown off exactly what it is. They ran a Super Bowl ad a couple years ago, and they really showed off what the Switch could do. They made it clear that this is a system that plays on your TV, that plays on the go, and that you can play it in tabletop mode, right? And they've done a good job of making that very clear. And I don't think we're going to see that change. I think that they are. I think that they know what they need to do, and I think that they can make this very successful, and they can make it work. So. But it is worth noting, like they don't want consumers getting confused. It needs to be as easy as possible, right? Because I mean, for those of us that are here with me live on Twitch, or if you're listening to this, we're gonna know the difference, right? But when grandma or grandpa go into Best Buy or whatever to pick up a system, well, there's 3 of these things. Which one do I get, and which one's better? And they need to know. If the portable one does not hook up to the TV, that needs to be very clear. I mean, even if it has to be some like bold text on the box or something that like it's very obvious that, hey, this is a portable system. The Switch Junior is a portable system, and only, and the other 2 can connect to the television. So. Yeah, it does need to be very clear. So this is I Fight Dragon says, I just bought a Switch back in November for my wife's birthday, but I wouldn't be upset about them making an upgraded one. Heck, I might even buy the cheaper version just so we could play Pokemon together. So there you go. Like it seems like everybody's kind of in agreement. We kind of all want some similar things here. The one thing I wonder about the most was the first comment here. Just, I'm of the mind that I don't think it's going to have Joy-Cons. I don't think. I think it's going to be just a single unit so that it's a little more kid proof and way more budget friendly. So, it's it's hard to say. Yeah, and drummer saying too, they need to make sure that all the Switch games play on any Switch. Yeah, exactly. It's just confusing. Like you have the new, Xenoblade, Minecraft. I think Fire Emblem Warriors. I think those are the three. There may be others, but then you had games like Hyrule Warriors that played on both, but it played very poorly. It played very poorly on the, from my understanding, on the original 3DS, right, or the 3DS XL. So it's interesting for sure, and I'm really excited. Like E3, I cannot wait. I'm so excited, right? I mean, we already know there's gonna be games announced, but we're also gonna be seeing hardware, and it's like what is it going to be, and how many special editions are we going to see? And I mean, the thing is, like I kind of went into it in the Wall Street Journal article, touched on it significantly, but like one of the things is like part of the reason people think this is going to happen is this is analysts were saying that it was looking like the sales for the Switch were actually going to decrease this year, from 17.9 million last year to 17.4 million this year. Well, they put a new one on the market, especially a lower priced one, and a one that has a little more horsepower. I think that's guaranteed to who knows, maybe even be a record year for the Switch. The third year may be the record year, because if they launch two separate ones, I'm looking at two separate 3DS XLs for, I believe it was Sun and Moon. I mean, there's going to be some people that are going to just want both of those in their collection, right? And if you could get both of them for the price of one, some people might do it, So that's one thing to think about. And then the other thing that really, really strikes me about this year, and I think I've mentioned it on here before, but like anybody that's coming over to the Switch from the 3DS this year is coming over to a lot of familiar faces. Animal Crossing, Fire Emblem, Luigi's Mansion, and Pokemon, right? These have all been somewhat staple titles on the 3DS, 2DS for a number of years, and they've all sold very well. And some of them have kind of like, I mean, Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing and Pokemon pretty much strictly handled. I mean, Amiibo Festival, I don't really count, right? And so the last console, Animal Crossing, was Wii, right? And same as Fire Emblem, and Pokemon's always been handheld. So this is the time. Like, this all seems pretty strategic if you ask me, right? Because it's like, okay, we're gonna cater to our handheld audience in year 3, and by not only giving them games that they know and love, but by giving them a system that is strictly portable. So it all makes sense, and it seems like it's coming together nicely. So I think that is going to do it for episode 191. Thank you guys so much for being here with me live on Twitch. I do appreciate it. And if you're listening or watching this on YouTube, thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. If you would like to follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, YouTube, get into the Reddit, guys, everywhere. It's N64Josh. Okay. If you would like to follow this show, you can go to it's at NPowercast on Twitter. Show notes for this episode are available. N64Josh.com/NPC189. No, I just read that. It's 191. My bad. N64Josh.com/NPC191. You can email the show, npc@n64josh.com. If you'd like to get yourself a free book from Audible, you can go to audibletrial.com/npc. the chair I'm sitting in from OPC. Go to n64josh.com/OPC. You can save $10 with that link, and the chairs are $20 off right now with free shipping. Okay, so it's a good time. It's a good time to get a gaming chair. Patreon.com/n64josh if you'd like to help support my content. And I do have a number of t-shirts available if anybody wants to check those out. n64josh.com/store. Okay. If you'd like to join the Discord, n64josh.com/discord. We're talking games. We have so much going on, guys. We've got community game nights. We've got Mario Kart tournaments, Smash Bros tournaments. Like, there's a lot going on. So get connected. We'd love to have you. We're really focused on positivity and just building community. And that's, where everyone's welcome. And so n64josh.com/discord. We'd love to have you. If Facebook is your thing, we're just about to 100 people in the Facebook group. So if that's your thing, n64josh.com/Facebook group. That's where you can find the link there. Lastly, if you could rate and review on iTunes, I would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. I do want to just give a shout out to everybody that's here live right now. Shellshock Prime, Jay Harley, Army Life, Drummer, the Goobla King, Cryptic, Scott the Geek, Delmonic, Keyblader, anybody else that's just lurking. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I do really appreciate it. We are going to be doing these shows at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So that just gives me a little more time in the evenings with my family. So I'm putting up articles regularly on n64josh.com, so make sure to check out the site. And thank you, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye now.